This is the dawn of a new era in British karting. Over 550 drivers in 12 classes competing for victory over 18 race weekends. This is the Motorsport UK British Kart Championships.
My name is Alex Goldschmidt. Senior Max, one of the most fiercely competitive categories in the Rotax family, and here at Rowrah this weekend will be no exception. But in the meantime, before the action got underway, we spoke with James Johnson, one of the seniors who competed last year and finished 6th overall. But James is clearly keeping his eye on getting into the top 3 at the tail end of the season.
Last year, obviously, we finished 6th in the country, and this year we're looking to hopefully finish first, if not in the top 3. That would be a nice improvement. This year, DHR have invested in a dyno. They've got a dyno for the engines, so they can test all the engines when they come away from the weekend. They test all the carbs, exhaust. All of our kit is tested after the weekend. The prep throughout the winter, we do a lot of racing near enough every weekend, trying to get up to speed, go into all the different tracks, trying to, learn the tracks more.
All 34 drivers will have to negotiate 15 minutes plus 1 lap of one of the most technically demanding circuits in the United Kingdom. And it's Tom Edmonds and Kieran Gifford, his KR Sport teammate in kart number 71, the championship leader on the outside of row number 1. Then it's Guy Cunnington and Ben Davis on row 2, Oakley Pryor and Jason Lockwood row 3, James Lowther and Lewis Mail in row 4. The top 10 rounded out by Bradley Barrett in the number 5 kart and Morgan Rose. And it's another false start. Well, the lights stay red, but they appear to be from racing. There's a little bit of confusion at the start. So we believe we're off in racing. I have to apologise because the lights were red as they crossed the line, but the drivers certainly look as though they're racing. Tom Edmonds and Kieran Gifford with the lead, coming through Sunny Bend for the first time. Ben Davis is 3rd. For how much longer? Guy Cunnington dives at the inside of Davis to take 3rd place, coming into Paddock Bend for the first time. The drivers flash across the start-finish line to complete lap number 1. It is Edmonds, Gifford, then Cunnington, Davis. Behind Ben Davis, the number 66 Team Clay Racing kart of Oakley Pryor. Oh, and a problem further back in the pack there. 2 drivers coming together on the run out of the first hairpin. One of them looks like a Dan Holland Racing kart. Can't see the number on that. The leaders are all coming through it. Could have been James Johnson possibly in the number 6 kart. And I'm just trying to look to see. Well, I can see, I think it may well have been James Johnson who has had a coming together with James Lowther. Yeah, Johnson out of the race. And standing at the side of the track is Team GB race suit. Now he's going to try and push himself back into the race a lap down. Johnson and Lowther having a coming together. Johnson, whose better half is actually only about a week, 10 days away from giving birth, so expected father, but sadly he cannot expect a good result from this race as Edmonds and Gifford begin to pull away at the head of the field. Gifford right in Edmonds' slipstream as they head down towards the first hairpin. He looks to the inside and whoa, Edmonds on the outside line tries to hold him off, and Gifford, well, racing room given there between the two of them. They head down the back straight. Edmonds still with his nose in front, but Gifford showing his intentions. Now he looks to the inside line, going into the Stuart S's, the very bottom of the circuit, and that is Kieran Gifford through into the race lead. And these two KR Sport teammates have opened up a handy advantage over Guy Cunnington. And number 52 kart who runs in third. Fourth is the Dan Holland number 86 of Ben Davis. Oakley Pryor and Lewis Malin round out the top six. Then a gap back to the battle for seventh, which is now led by Jason Lockwood from Rhys Hunter. Bradley Barrett is ninth. Jack McConnell is ninth. The Northern Irishman, then Bradley Barrett 10th, George Holbrook 11th, James Lingard is 12th, and followed by Ryan Luscombe, Morgan Rose and Luke Wooder rounding out the top 15. Gifford holding on to top spot. Edmonds will try and put him under pressure now. Looks as though Guy Cunnington, as they come into St John's, Guy Cunnington in that silver and red Persistence Motorsport machine. Cunnington, the driver from Trowbridge, is closing in on the two leaders. So, although while Edmonds was leading, they were pulling away the two KR Sport karts. Now that Gifford has the advantage, Cunnington, Davis, Pryor and Lewis Malin all closing in. Malin on the comp kart chassis for the Mark Litchfield Racing team. Behind the top six there is a big gap back to the rest of the field, and the rest of the field led by Rhys Hunter. So James Johnson has regained the track. He's a lap down, but he's going to try and stay out there for as many championship points as possible in case other drivers fall out of the race. The top six has become a top five because Lewis Malin in kart number 31 is beginning to lose a little bit of ground. Gifford leads into the first hairpin. Edmonds right on his rear bumper. Cunnington, Davis and Pryor right in his slipstream. Edmonds knows that if he tries to make a move on his teammate and they start battling, that will just slow them down. It'll give Cunnington the opportunity to strike. Certainly after that early race breakaway with 9 minutes 45 seconds plus a lap to go now. The two pink and purple liveried KR Sport Cosmic chassis of Gifford and Edmonds have been reeled in by the Tony kart of Guy Cunnington through the first chicane, inches away from the curb, from the barrier that is on top of the curb there to prevent drivers from completely jumping over the curb and cutting the corner effectively. And each perfect. The leaders coming out of the Stuart S's, and now Edmonds retakes top spot. Look how much closer Cunnington, Davis and Pryor have got into Paddock Bend now. Pryor to the inside of Davis for fourth. Makes the move and makes it stick. Now gives Ben Davis saying, right, let's go. Heads down. Let's work together and attack the top three. Will Ben Davis listen? Or will he go back in for a move straight away? Well, he hasn't done so straight away. Malin in sixth place, and there's a move for second. Cunnington picks off Kieran Gifford for second at Iredales. Down the back straight with the lake of the quarry here at Rowrah on the driver's left-hand side as they head down towards Stuart S's at upwards of maybe 80 miles an hour. We go into Sunny Bend once again. The 25 kart of Tom Edmonds, the pole sitter, continues to lead. Guy Cunnington, who came into this race only 22nd in the championship, runs second at the moment. Tom Edmonds also had a bit of a torrid time at PF International in the first two rounds of the series. He's only 22nd, but in the point standings coming into this weekend, but both looking set to move up significantly. And Kieran Gifford, well, Gifford, the championship leader, fine, he is well in front of Bradley Barrett. Bradley Barrett in kart number 5 is down in 9th place. Oakley Pryor, very consistent at the moment, third in the standings, and looking at potentially a top 3 finish here. He's still got to get past Kieran Gifford, however. It's Edmonds, Cunnington, Gifford, Pryor and Davis. We're on lap number 11 now. We've just completed lap 10, and you could throw a postage stamp over the top 5 down towards hairpin number 1. Cunnington in the slipstream of the race leader, doesn't duck out to make the move going into Iredales. He's having a look now. He's almost pushing like a cadet down the back straight. He's right on the rear bumper. Cunnington looks to the inside, but Edmonds fends him off. Cunnington slots back in line, doesn't want to lose too much space, too much time, because if he moves offline, Gifford, Davis and Pryor will relegate him back to 5th. So it's, and Lewis Malin is closing in. And look at the back of this group now. There's the move for the lead. Cunnington up the inside of Edmonds. Edmonds shuffled wide at paddock, and the whole freight train of carts is coming through. And Edmonds down to 5th place in the blink of an eyelash. He's fighting back. There goes Ben Davis up the inside. Oh, Davis launches one up the inside of Pryor and Edmonds there, and he emerged in 3rd place, but that was the latest of the late lunges, and it has cost Davis time, the top 2, as we've got a very sick sounding cart in the form of number 57, the privateer driver Michael Roots. His exhaust bracket has broken, and he's shortly going to have to come into the pits to retire. It's Cunnington now with a lead over Gifford of 3/4 of a second. So that one move from Ben Davis has allowed the top 2 to escape, because Gifford is 1.2 seconds in front of Davis. Lewis Malin in number 31 is now into 4th place rather. Reese Hunter, he has come on strongly to move into 5th. Oakley Pryor and Tom Edmonds, the real losers at the end of that move by Davis there. They have slipped back to 6th and 7th. So the question is now, can the likes of Hunter, Malin and Davis work together, and Pryor work together to catch the 2 leaders? Guy Cunnington completes lap number 13. Leads by 0.8 of a second. Eases away by another 1/10 on that last lap. So Gifford can't quite respond yet, but Gifford has got a 1.4 second advantage over Ben Davis, who runs in 3rd. His teammate for the Dan Holland Racing Team, Reese Hunter, is 4th with the fast lap of the race. Yellow flags waving at the first chicane, as that is one driver off the side of the circuit. It is the number 13 entry of Persistence Motorsports, Ben Burgess. So Cunnington's teammate, the Basingstoke-based Ben Burgess, try and say that after a couple of glasses of adult beverage. Basingstoke-based Ben Burgess is out. Cunnington, his lead shrinks with 4 minutes to go, but only by 1/10. But Gifford is winding that number 71 KR Sport Cosmic chassis up for one final throw of the dice. Can he get to Cunnington? At the moment it looks unlikely, but anything can happen in karting. Quite often does. Hunter in kart number 3 has passed his teammate Ben Davis to move on to the podium. Davis, though, right in Hunter's wheel tracks. Behind Davis is Pryor, Malin, and then a little gap back to Edmonds. So Tom Edmonds, the kart obviously unsettled, maybe the driver a little bit unsettled, and he is dropping away after leading the race early on. He's now in a distant 7th place. He's under no pressure from the 8th place battle, and the 8th place battle is being led by number 60 Dan Holland Racing kart of George Holbrook. His teammate Bradley Barrett in the number 5 kart is 9th, and then Luke Wooder in kart number 27 for the Griffiths Motorsport team. He rounds out the top 10. with Jason Lockwood 11th, followed by Morgan Rose, Miles Apps, Jack McConnell, and in 15th place, the leading privateer in the field, James Lingard. Ryan Luscombe is 16th, followed by Teddy Clinton, Jake Douglas, Ben Donkin, and Thomas Storer rounds out the top 20. Cunnington has 2 minutes to go. Cunnington into Paddock Bend. Gifford still 3/4 of a second down. Hunter and his teammate Davis cannot close that gap. Pryor is next, then it's Malin. "90 seconds plus 1 lap to go. Up the hill towards Iredales. Davis and Hunter. 2.1 seconds behind the race leader, so they're keeping the pressure on as much as they can. Down the hill towards St John's, now into Sunny. 1 minute to go. Reese Hunter in third place, looks over his shoulder to see where his teammate Ben Davis is. And he will know after earlier on in the race that Ben Davis is not afraid to make a move if need be. Down the straight towards the first hairpin. Hunter defends. Ben Davis doesn't swing out too wide. Oakley Pryor is still there in 5th place, keeping a watching brief. Malin 6th. And as Guy Cunnington goes into the Stuart S's for the 17th time, I think. 30 seconds left on the race clock. No, actually it's the 19th time. This is lap number 19. Gifford is not giving up, but he has not made any impression on Cunnington's 3/4 of a second lead in the last 8 or 9 laps. There is still a dispute to be had, though, over who will finish on the bottom step of the podium, and there is Hunter defending from Davis. Pryor swings out wide going into the first hairpin. That'll give Oakley Pryor a nice run up the hill towards Iredales, but he can't make the move on Davis, and Hunter may have caught the break there. I think Hunter may have tricked Ben Davis to making a move. Davis slightly late on the brakes, and that has cost him a couple of kart lengths. They come out of the Stuart S's, and in fact, yes, Hunter has almost, well, I would say he's turned to the boost because the karts don't have the boost, but that one move has now enabled him to capitalise and pull away. Davis preoccupied with defending 4th place from Oakley Pryor. Lewis Malin not a million miles away either as we start the final lap. And Guy Cunnington comes out of the first hairpin. Kieran Gifford will not catch him. In fact, Cunnington has extended his advantage. Oh, and Ben Davis runs wide at the first hairpin, loses 4th place to Oakley Pryor. Pryor in the number 66 Team Clay racing kart moves into P4. What is turning into a very, very consistent season for Oakley. Can Ben Davis fight back? The 3 leaders have come through Sunny. The 4th place battle comes into St John's, now through Sunny. The 66 of Pryor still has it. Checkered flag waves for number 52, however. Guy Cunnington takes the win in fine fashion from Kieran Gifford, who maintains his championship advantage. Reese Hunter finishes 3rd in kart number 3, and across the line in 4th place, Oakley Pryor nabbed Ben Davis for 4th place. Ben Davis comes home still with a very creditable top 5 effort, with Lewis Malin in 6th. George Holbrook finishes 7th. Bradley Barrett comes home in 8th. Luke Wooder is 9th, and Tom Edmonds, after leading early on, finishes a disappointed 10th ahead of Jason Lockwood, Morgan Rose, Jack McConnell, Miles Apps, and the top 15 rounded out by the leading privateer driver home. An excellent result for Teddy Clinton. James Lingard, Ryan Luscombe, Ben Donkin are next after 20 hard-fought laps here at the Lakeland Stadium in Rowrah. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the racing here today at Rowrah for round 4 of the 2019 British Kart Championships.
Guy Cunnington from Persistence Motorsport would make his way from third to win the second final at Rowrah, ahead of current points leader Kieran Gifford, who now has a 16-point advantage over Oakley Pryor. Meanwhile, Reese Hunter started all the way down in 12th, but made his way up to third, taking the final spot of the senior Rotax podium in Final 2.
It was a lot easier in the dry to pass people, but in the wet it was all just single file, so everyone was defending. So it was a lot easier in the final to pass people and gain some more places.
Yeah, no, we had a really good battle the whole race. Didn't really have the pace to win it. Guy was really, really fast, and Tom, my teammate, unfortunately had problems, and he would have been probably fast enough to win it as well. So it was a good battle. I'm really happy with how the weekend's gone. It was tricky conditions, from changing from wet to dry and wet to dry. So it's I've come away on top on the championship, got more points. So I just want to thank KR Sport for all their hard work and Steve Blair on the mechanics.
Yeah, so the start of the race was a bit slow. We stayed in third for the start. I think we dropped back to fourth at one point where Ben Davis overtook me, and then we soon got back to third in a lap or so. Then started chasing down the two KRs. They had a bit of a battle, which helped me catch up to them. Then I just got past them both, one up the second hairpin and one into the last corner. And then, just led it from there, stretched out a gap, kept pushing, and then had a bit of a gap on the last lap. So I had a look over my shoulder a bit and seen I had a bit of a gap, and then I looked again and seen that Kieran was a bit closer. So, head down, kept pushing, and then last lap I had a bit of a gap, and then I sort of knew I was safe from there.